Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call the law Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Of course, double honors go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This is Nama with the DC camp, and as you can see on the screen here, it's from Science Pastor, and it says Atheist attacks. It says answering humanist accusations against the Bible, and that's in particular, it's talking about Noah's flood. And what I'm going to attempt to do today, all right, along with showing you two videos that give you a visualization of what possibly went on back there, all right. Now we know through the scriptures what it says, all right, when you go on from Genesis 6th chapter on up, but you got to consider beforehand what happened. There was a build-up to this, all right, both in when we talk about what was going on, Genesis 3, the introduction of the serpent, and then we're not talking about a slithering snake. No, we're talking about a race of people that line would continue on and come back, all right, out of the Noah and his three sons, all right, coming on down, they would come back in the form of Jacob's brother Esau, all right. You have the serpent, and you have Cain, which came from that line, all right. So now we've got the sons of men, the sons of God, and the sons of the wicked one. Those three classifications of man. And what you have here in Atheist attacks, all right, is it says, is the Bible wrong about history? And of course we know that's not the case. This is the greatest history book that there ever was, all right. It says, they say Noah's flood didn't happen, proving the Bible is wrong, all right. Humanist claims about, all right. It says, the Bible's false statements about history also bolster the humanist position. Historians and other scholars have exposed many of the Bible's claims as historically inaccurate. It says history in the Old Testament. It says historians have long known that the biblical story of a worldwide flood is a myth. For instance, Andrew White says 19th century Egyptologists found that Egypt had a flourishing civilization long before Noah, and no flood had ever interrupted it. Okay, that's their argument that they present, all right. It says, before we get started, notice the source of this accusation. If you have been reading these chapters in sequence, you will recognize our old friend Andrew White, all right. You can look that individual up for yourself, but it says the global flood, Noah's flood. The humanists claim historians know Noah's flood is a myth. However, that is not true. Many historians as well as geologists recognize there was a flood and that it is an important part of our history. Who is right? That is our major topic, bigger than we can cover in one web page. Because here's my question to you. All right. These scientists try to make the case for all of the unusual formations in geology and things of that nature, saying that it took millions of years to do so. But what you have to realize is these devils, and devils they are, they're liars and deceivers, they're in effect trying to also hide themselves amongst this, because if the Bible is correct, this is what they're saying now, if the Bible is correct, then sooner or later people are going to find out who we really are, and that we are the adversary in the human form that it's talking about. All right, and that they one time in such a lower state that they were crawling on all fours and all this. Well, those things are true. See, what they do not want you to realize is that all this can happen as a result of one catastrophic event. Grand Canyon. All this can be explained by one cataclysmic event. The breaking up of the Pangea-like continent, all right, the landmass that was, into what we have, which is several continents now. That's all one cataclysmic event. It's not separate. All right, so what I'm going to do here is show you a video. For time's sake, I might have to make two parts. Hopefully it won't be too long. In this video, it's the best movie explaining Noah's flood ever made. In conjunction with that, you have another one over here. It's called the Hydroplate Theory. And this is from Dr. Walt Brown. All right, I'm sure this one, this first one I'm about to show you, took a lot of its information from the one Dr. Brown did. All right, so let's go ahead and show this. See, when it tells you about people, when Noah was prophesying, because these prophets were trying to tell a certain line that began with Adam. Adam was not the only person or the first person on the planet. No. Genesis 5 goes into that. All right. But this, following this line, that would eventually, after the flood, you know, with Noah and his 3 sons and their wives, that line would come out of Shem. All right. And they would eventually become the Israelites. But before the flood, there were all kinds of things happening. Like I say, this is going into cause and effect. All right. So all, you know, the serpent, and then you get into Genesis 3 there, and then Genesis 4 with Cain and Abel. All right. And then after that with Lamech and his wickedness, and that line continuing on, and all the evils that, and some of our people getting mixed up with that, to the point where centuries later, Noah came around and he was prophesying for over 100 years, saying, you know, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Everybody, like you got today, just, you know, scoffers, and, you know, but when these events started, and you're going to see why there was such a panic and how terrible, all right, you know, put this to video, see why they were trying to get on that ark, but it was too late. All right, so let's go ahead. Why, Salakia? Why? Because the whole world was Eden. Remember the scripture when it says eastward in Eden. All right? Just want to clear that up. Which was, it wasn't a fruit. Not in the sense that they're trying to say. It's called phase lock. Remember, it had not rained. Remember, it said a dew came up. All right, it had never rained before. All right, or a mist, that is, that what we call dew now. So like, see how it's beautiful that you can use their own science against them for making case for the Bible being correct. Beautiful. because I read years ago, funny that he mentioned that, um, from the Cascade Mountain range, there's evidence that such a catastrophe happened, but because uh, North America was newly settled by Esau at that time, there were no records on the western coast, but Japan has records of that. That's how they got this. Okay, I'm going to stop it there and get a lot of scriptures. I just allowed that to go on because I want you to get a good idea of where they're coming from. I'll just put the link in the description box to this one and the other video. And yeah, you're going to see that this indeed did not take millions of years. I was trying to get for him to get to the part, see how much, let me see, further they got to go. There's a point I wanted him to, let's see. Let's go a little bit further so I can. All right, for sure I'm going to stop it there so I can. So here's the point. Again, this is more likely to have taken place quickly and as a single cataclysmic event, or was this something that happened over millions of years, like these Edomite scholars like to put it? You heard them say several times that these creatures had no chance, that they were all running for their lives. This happened very, very quickly. And in some cases where in the streams where the fish, they were frozen solid. They had no time to react. So this was very quick. All right. So let's get, like I said, this is cause and effect. So let's go to Genesis 6. All right. Now, up until this point, I covered from Genesis 3 on up to this point where there was much wickedness in the world, introduction of the serpent and his line, and Genesis 3, then Cain and Abel, what happened there in Genesis 4, and then in 5, where you get the descendants of that line of Cain. And then now we're here in 6, and it says heading the wickedness of the world, which provoked the Most High's wrath. And it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives, of all which they chose. And the Most High Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Again, as a result of what? Sin. All right? There, and here's here's the part where it starts to confuse people. All right, it says, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, and the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. All right, so it kind of answers itself as to what we're talking about when it talks about giants. Nephilim, we're not talking about fee, fi, fo, fum giants in that sense. No, it's talking about men of renown, all right, held in high esteem, all right. And it says, the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Most High Yahweh that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Most High said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping things, the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. All right? So, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with the Most High. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and earth was filled with violence. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, room shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. All right? And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the doors of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third story shalt thou make it. Okay, I'll leave the rest of that for you to read, but he was given certain dimensions, all right, and it's supposed to be built in a specific way, and you can see by that example why. All right, so let's go on to 7. All right, let's see. Oh, this is an important part too, because people confuse this too, and we were taught growing up in these churches. All right, it says, and the Most High said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. Here's the point. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7, the male and his female, and of every beast that are not clean by 2. Now, what were we always taught in these churches? 2 by 2. You let all, Did you ever read? And then it goes into fowls and certain other things. All right, so let's go on down to, let's see. It goes into down 20, 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. All right, as you saw examples of there in the video. Let's go to 8 and 2. Says the fountains also of the deep, which was illustrated there. And the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth. And the waters returned from off the earth. Think about that. Continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Genesis 9 and 8. It says, and the Most High spake unto Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, And I behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And that scripture in particular reminds me of something I read also some years ago about something called primary water. You know, the so-called white man likes to make a profit off people's ignorance. All right. Primary water just means, when you consider, even from the days going back to the Great Flood, according to this, there is 5 times more water contained within the earth than there is on the surface of the earth. That's all that means. So you're never going to run out of water. All right. Again, primary water. All right. So let's go to Isaiah 54 and 9. All this evidence, but like I say, you got to understand, these so-called white people are trying to hide who they really are. They are Edom, all right, descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. This is Isaiah 54 and 9, and it says, For this as the waters of Noah unto me, for as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, Genesis 9, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. All right. Now, I had mentioned about there's a big discrepancy of what these Edomites teach millions of years and what the scriptures say. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Let's see, 14. That's why that never made any sense to me. And where you see in Dr. Brown's video, I did not play, I'll put the link up. He makes the cause, you know, the earth is not a perfect sphere. So where you have the moon orbiting and you have the gravitational pull, the water is going to reflect that also. So each time the moon passes, the water is going to pull towards the moon. You get that little oblong shape forming there. All right. So over a period of thousands of years, you have this continual pumping or priming. All right. The water expanding and contracting, expanding because of the moon's pull, expanding and contracting. So it's like a pumping effect. All right. So my question to you, did that fracturing occur within the Earth's crust happen over a period of thousands of years or millions of years? That's why that millions of years crap never made any sense. All right. Oh, this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 11. It says, For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a tenth part, and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. All right, and that's where we're in now. So this place does not have long before Yahushua comes back. All right, as in the days of Noah. Remember, look where we're at now. This is let's go to second. Let's see what was that. Let's see if that's what I want. I got it down here, so I put it there for some reason. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's gone. Whoa. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is 2nd Ezra. Let's see, 3. No, that's not what I want. Let's go to Sirach 44. And 17. Let's see. Yeah, it's just reiterating. It says Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. All right. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth. when the flood came. All right. 18, an everlasting covenant was made with him that all flesh should perish no more by the flood. So again, another case for this is in the Apocrypha. So all these things are connected for you naysayers about, oh, this doesn't belong in here. Let's go to 1 Peter. Go to the New Testament. 1 Peter 3. Let's go to, let's see, 20. It says, which sometimes were disobedient when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, same as in the case now. The Most High's long suffering, while the ark was a preparing, and wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water. Now you saw the introduction of this video. Many cultures have an account of the story of the Great Flood. Why is that? All right, 21. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward the Most High by the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's how we're going to be. That's our salvation now. All right. Yes, this is a spiritual ark. All right. That's what's being prepared now. Let's see. 2 Peter 3. Let's see. This is 2 Peter 3 and 1. No, 6. It says, whereby the world that then was, in fact, that was one of the first scriptures that on this video he put up, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. All right. 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved until fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men, as in the days of Noah. Matthew 24, Luke 21st chapter. All right. Luke 17, I'm sorry, 26 and 27. Salaki. All right. So that's going to do it again. This video is a whole lot more to it. And again, I will put up, that was the article. I'll post a link to that. I'm trying to find the video. Here it is. This is called the Hydroplate Theory, the Flood of Noah. All right. And you can see just visualization here of how terrifying that was. All right. And even though a lot of people tend to make the mistake that things are so much better now with the evolution of Esau science and people are supposed to understand certain things better, bullshit. If this self-same thing were to happen now, people would literally shit their pants and just straight up die. All right. So with that, I hope once again, 2 videos, the Hydroplate Theory, going into the flood, the Noah's flood, and this one here, the best movie explaining Noah's flood ever made. Okay, I'll put the links to these. I think it's worth a watch. All right. So with that, hey, I hope whoever reviews this, like always, is edified. That's what we do. And this is all in an attempt to wake up the remaining, hopefully, elect. All right. Time is short. All right. Stay prayed up. All right. So with that, shalom.